I've had a good amount of experience, so I'm not really worried about that. Like I know they're gonna still probably take a little bit of time. Like I haven't even gotten into the rankings yet, so I need to fight someone at least in the rankings and work my way up from there. But honestly, fighting Valentina is the goal. I kind of hope she's still the champ when I get there because I kind of want to derail that like that hype train that she has a little bit. Um, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
All right, y'all. What's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I am back with another video. All right, y'all. So shout out to MJ. MJ actually sent me this video. She told me to check this video out yesterday. I think it was early this morning, yesterday. Whatever. My days all get mixed up now the way I be working, man. But anyways, she sent this to me yesterday. Shout out to MJ. I guess you want to know my thoughts on this, but man, I just played it for y'all right there, and wow. First off, I just gotta say, wow, man, these girls, they're really gonna mess up their chances here. Like, shout out to Coach Sutton Harrison as well, because he talks about the Valentina curse. And look, I believe in that curse to a certain extent. Whenever fighters just say, look, Valentina's on their radar, I don't really think that's part of the curse. But Erin Blanchfield, she's really putting that curse upon herself with these type of words here. I'm not gonna lie. Like, look, y'all know I'm an Erin fan, 100% cold blooded. I'm riding with her as a fighter. I think she's in my top four as far as the flyweights. But all right, I don't think she has a good understanding of what a hype train is. You know what I mean? Like, hype train. I think we all know what a hype train is. All right, but for Erin to just say, look, she wants to go in there one day and eventually take out this. She hopes Valentina's still around so she can, derail that hype train. My thoughts on that, I'm like, yo, like, for real, like, this isn't a fight you should really be worried about in that aspect right now. To even speak that way of a champion like Valentina Shevchenko, hype train and Valentina Shevchenko, those words don't even go together. All right. So my thoughts on that, first off, look, I don't agree with that. I do agree with her energy, and I disagree with it right now. Like, I agree with her energy because she is keeping those words, those keywords, goal in mind. Like, that is her ultimate goal. I love when a fighter has an ultimate goal. That's their end game, to get to the top, graduate, beat the champion, right? Same with Miranda Maverick. See, when Miranda Maverick said it, I respected it a little bit more because she didn't call Valentina hype train. You know what I mean? She did say that my goal is to fight the champion in 2 years. I respect that. So Miranda, she came at it in a little bit more respectable, calculated way. That's why I don't like whenever people jumped on her about the way Miranda Maverick said it. That was her goal. So I didn't really think that was a curse. That was just a factor of other things going on that kind of took her off the path, even against Erin Blanchfield in their fight, right? But for Erin, all right, whenever you say something like, I hope Valentina's around so I can derail that hype train, that kind of makes me think a little bit too confident right now. You know what I mean? That's why I have to disagree with that energy when you put those two words together with Valentina. Valentina is not a hype train. Everything Valentina's done, that's all hard work. That's all hard work. And when you need to get to that point to fight her, you better be putting in that hard work, right? That's what it's going to come down to. So I disagree with that. Those words don't go in there, and you're going to put a curse on yourself when you start thinking of the champion in that fashion. Like, Valentina's on top for a reason, all right? Because like I said, there's flyweight level, then there's Shevchenko level. There's the elite level, and there's Shevchenko level. There's the Caitlins, the Andrades, the Taylor Santoses, the Jennifer Mayas. They're all on the same level, right? They're all the 50-50 fights. You can't ever decide who's going to win if you match them all up. But whenever it's Shevchenko level, you pretty much know who's going to win at this point, right? Because she separates herself from everybody else, right? So that has to be respected. That has to be taken seriously and looked at as like, okay, there's a reason Valentina's at the top, right? Same with boxing, like Floyd Mayweather. There's a reason Floyd Mayweather is at the top. We can never call him a hype job or hype train, right? So for somebody like Erin to take that approach and, kind of disrespect her verbally like that already, that kind of, that's going to kind of put a different energy around you. I'm always one to say don't overly respect the fighter, right? Right. But this case, you're just disrespecting. Like, you can respect the fighter, but don't overly respect him. But don't just straight up disrespect him, because Valentina and hype job, hype train, whatever you want to call it, just do not go in the same. They can go in the same category, So she's putting a curse on herself in that fashion, right? Now, To a certain extent, I agree with the energy. Look, I know she wants to put herself on the map. She wants everybody to think that, okay, she's the next thing that can go in there and beat Valentina, and she is that hopeful. Look, I, for one, think she does have a good well-roundedness and good set of tools right now that could be sharpened to the point where she could give Valentina a challenge, but that's still far off. That's still far off. You know, she's in her early 20s, and she's not even ranked. Erin Blanchfield's not even ranked yet. You know, I know rankings don't make sense sometimes, but she's not even ranked yet. So right now, there's still a lot of hard work ahead of her. There's other fighters that I think she needs to talk about derailing first. Like, if she just says, okay, like I think in this interview, she said she wanted to derail the hype train and Casey O'Neill. Okay, that's cool. Do that. She's more on your level. You know, she's a young undefeated fighter that is right around your corner. Get to that first, right? Or if you said, I want to fight Andrea Lee one day and just beat her, fine. But that's still a little far away off. You know, so if you're an unranked fighter, I just think that saying you want to derail this hype train in Valentina, or hope she's still around so you could derail that hype train in Valentina, that's a little uncalled for, and that's a little bit too extreme. I know she's cold-blooded, but sometimes, hey, before you speak, hey, you try to speak certain things into existence, hey, you gotta put in the work. You know, from the outside looking in, I've seen this many a time when fighters say they're going to do this and do that, and they wind up getting beat by the person that they're not looking at. You know what I mean? Like for Macy Barber, there was a time she wanted to go in there and beat Valentina Shevchenko. You know, didn't take Roxanne fully seriously, got injured in the fight, got beat down and dominated, right? Then she wanted to jump back on that train, said, I want to fight JoJo, I want to fight Valentina. Wound up getting outboxed and beaten down by Alexa Grasso. You know what I mean? So when you start jumping ahead and start talking this trash about one of the best fighters in the division, you know, that's going to kind of knock you back. And that's just my whole thing about that. Like, there's a quick little statement there, but I mean, there's a lot in there where you're going to kind of be like, okay, like, all right, now, like, you better take this thing seriously. I know this younger generation, they like to act like they got it and they ready to go, but there's a long, hard road ahead of you that you need to prove yourself and get there. And Erin, you know, she puts in the work. Like, she's been putting in the work since she was a young kid, you know, so I respect that. But there's a lot more that needs to be done. You know, after being signed to the UFC, you still got to beat these other fighters ahead of you. Like, people are still thinking Casey O'Neill can beat you, right? People still think, Manon Fiorot, I still favor Manon over her right now. You know what I mean? So before you can get to Valentina and derail that fighter, there's all these other fighters. What if Andrade wants to come back, right? Jennifer Maia. Can you handle Jennifer Maia the way Chikagan did? Lauren Murphy. Just all these other type of styles that you need to get to first before you can call somebody a hype train. Like, call Valentina a hype train when you start beating common opponents and taking them out, right? When you start beating common opponents like Manny was doing whenever, you know, he was trying to get his fight with Floyd, you know, he was taking Oscar De La Hoya out. He took Ricky Hatton out. You know what I mean? But then you have Floyd over here beat Juan Manuel Marquez in one fight where Manny went to war with him like 3 or 4 times. So there was always some type of interest level right there with those two when they got to the top, right? I still knew Floyd could beat Manny, but, you know, a lot of people believed in his hype whenever he started beating a lot of common names and just had this style about him, you know, that as he climbed the ladder and grabbed the title too at welterweight, right? So for Erin, you know, before you even call somebody a hype train like Valentina Shevchenko, you need to put them names on your resume and make sure they're them common names and you're destroying them in the same fashion as Valentina or better. And then when you get to like number 7 and number 5, start calling out Valentina right now. Because right now, if you say that and a lot of people are fans and they start getting behind you and they're like, oh, yeah, you can beat her. Valentina's a hype train. Yeah, you got it. You're going to start feeling your funk a little bit too much. You know, you're going to start thinking you're going to really do it. And then you're going to possibly overlook certain weaknesses that you could have exposed in Valentina that you're going to go in there and get beat by, right? So it's just one of them things. Like I said, I want to know my thoughts. Shout out to MJ for sending me this video. But I'm going to go back through and look at the interview, too, about what she said about Casey O'Neill, because I like that energy. You know, call out the fighters around you. If you think you're hype jobs or whatever, yeah, that's cool. But just to say Valentina's a hype job, you know, I'm not with that, because that fighter put a lot of work in. And, you know, she's from the old school. I'm from the old school. So I got to respect somebody that, you know, went around the world, fought everybody, fought at high levels and professional levels in boxing and, you know, wrestling, and has all these accolades. You know, they didn't gain all these accolades to be called a hype train at any point in their life. You know what I mean? So there's no hype train there. I know she probably wants to ruffle Valentina's feathers, but you're so far off. You're just so far off. Like, Valentina, champion. Erin, unranked, right? You know, so that's just my thoughts. Like, my final thoughts, though, like I said, I agree at the fact that she's showing the heart and she wants to go in there and do her thing, but I just disagree with the choice of words, because it just makes it feel like you don't take her as seriously as she needs to be taken. Like, even Amanda Nunes took Valentina Shevchenko as seriously as she needs to be taken. Now, there's a difference between over-respecting the fighter and taking them as seriously as they needed to be taken, right? There's two differences in that. Now, you need to take all caution and make sure you're prepared for that type of fighter, right? You need to do that. There's a difference between that and overly respecting somebody. So I'll let y'all think about that. But we'll talk more. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk more on this because I know some people agree and disagree on this. But as of right now, Erin, hey, you better stick with those fighters around your level, Manon and Casey. And that's with all respect, because Valentina, that's hashtag Shevchenko level. And even if you get to that point, I think we're still all going to favor Valentina, right? Right? Because she's not one for words, she's one for action. So guys, let me know what y'all think. Combo Breaker 99. We'll talk more. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.